What's up, guys? Man, this is the first snowstorm of the year. I'm in Owatonna, Minnesota right now. I just dropped off a load in Costco. Over here, it's not so bad, but I will be picking up a load in White Bear Lake, Minnesota, and bringing that to Broadview, Illinois. And over there, it's a whole lot worse than it is over here. Supposedly, it's going to be a lot of snow, a lot of wind, and everything. So today's going to be a very interesting day. So I'll take you guys along for the ride, and hopefully it'll be a good day. Hopefully there's no surprises. Hop in. Well, just made it to the pickup here, and there's another guy ahead of me, so I'm gonna have to wait for him to get loaded first. And they said it's gonna be about an hour 15, hour 30 before they could get me in, which is not that big of a problem. I'm not really looking forward to the drive that's coming up ahead of me. Coming here wasn't bad at all, but I was going in the north direction, which is away from where the storms are, so this was not bad. I'm wondering what it's gonna look like after I get loaded and after I get out of here. So I'm thinking if they take a while over here, it's not that big of a deal, because it'll just give the snow plows and everything a little bit more time to work, and hopefully clear the stuff out of the way, or maybe it'll pass or something. But you know, it's just part of trucking. You can't really control the weather, and I can't really afford right now not to be running and taking loads. Literally just last week I had an injector that went out, so that was 2 days loss of work plus the parts and everything like that. So things add up, and we gotta keep on trucking here. But anyway, I'm gonna be hanging out here for a little bit. I'm gonna go back into the dock next to over there, and we'll go from there. We'll see how the rest of the day goes on. And so how's everybody been? I know I haven't been really present online for a while, but ever since I'm back now, man, have the times changed a whole lot. It's crazy how, you know, like a year or two can change, but that's the thing with the spot market. I think a lot of people don't understand that when you're running the spot market, and most small carriers are, you're prone to these ups and downs all the time. I've been through them. I think I've been doing this for like 8 years now. Not necessarily being an owner-operator for 8 years, but I've been owner-operator for probably like 6. But for the first 2, I was working for a company that I was running the spot market, so, you know, basically the same thing. And throughout the years that I've been working, I've seen ups and downs multiple times already, but this one has definitely been the longest one. I mean, it's been like 24 or 25, maybe 26 months that the rates have been coming down steadily. They did bottom out. I don't think they're really getting much worse, but the thing is, it's not necessarily that they're not going to get much worse, but the amount of loads that are available is just so low. Like, you might sit there somewhere and there might not be anything popping up at all. So not only are the rates low, but there's nothing to even choose from. So you couldn't even take a cheap load if you wanted to, because it's just not there. There's a lot of things that cause this. You know, during the boom, when things were doing really good, I think that they said that about like 136,000 carriers have entered the market, and so far right now, like 36,000 or so, like let's say 40 to be conservative, they have dropped off, which is not enough. There's still way too many trucks there. So like if you look at those FreightWaves and the sonar information that they post, you can see that the volumes are actually at a decent level. They're at the level of like 2019, 2018 or so. So there is a lot of loads, but the problem is that it's not trickling down to the spot market. If you guys know what the tender rejection rate is, we're like around 3% or so right now, I believe, last time I checked. So basically, out of all the loads that are available, only about 3% of them are actually entering the spot market. So you have all these carriers that are fighting for only like 3% of the loads that are left over, and no wonder everybody is struggling. The thing that beats me though is how well the contract market is doing. Don't get me wrong, they're gonna be suffering as well, because they're not going to be able to survive this, because the contract rate has been dropping. I know before it was like almost $1 over spot price, and then it came down to like 90 cents, 80 cents, and I think now it's around like 65 to 70 cents more than spot market rates. And what that means is that the shippers are renegotiating the rates with them, as they should. So like the contracts that they have, they're bringing them down, but it's crazy how the contract carriers were able to keep up with this for so long, because during the worst of the worst times, even the contract rates were still like almost $1 more. So the contract carriers were able to hold on, but I think as the contract rates continue to drop down, as the shippers aren't going to want to pay as much anymore, more and more of those loads are going to end up on the spot market. So I think that we'll have a rejection rate that's going to start to go up a little bit more. They're saying in the middle of this year of 2024, they said that in the middle of 2023 things will improve. So who knows what's going to happen. There's just so many things that are involved with this whole thing. So I'm just hoping for the best. But the thing that keeps you alive is being prepared when things are good. You know, don't spend too much money on stupid stuff, and always have reserves. Because I think what kills a lot of people in this industry, in the spot market at least, is you open up an authority when times are good, because it seems like the right thing to do, and you run your business as if that's the, you know, the base pay. And little do you know, that's like as good as it's gonna get, and it's gonna go away in like 2-3 months, a year maybe. So when things, when the equilibrium comes and everything kind of like comes back down, people are going out of business. And I think it's fair to say, after I've been doing this for a while now, that you gotta live your life below your means. When things are really good, like they were a couple of years ago, definitely enjoy it, but just know that it's not really sustainable. It's kind of too good to be true. So if you could manage to do that, not spend too much money, be wise with it, make some investments and stuff, I think you'll be okay. But I'm just wondering how much longer we're gonna have to wait for things to really improve. But it pays dividends to be able to survive this thing, because once a lot of carriers do fall off, then the ones that are left over are definitely gonna have a better time. It's a little chilly out there. Decided to continue inside the truck. Where was I? So I think that this winter is going to be a pivotal moment for a lot of the carriers. The one good thing we've got going for us right now is that the diesel prices have come down a decent amount. I hope they continue to go down, because that just helps us out a little bit more. But wintertime just sucks regardless. It's going to be weather, there's going to be a lot of slowdowns, repairs suck in the wintertime, and loads just suck in the wintertime too. There's just not a whole lot of them. That's the biggest issue that carriers have between like January and April. There's just nothing really happening. The holidays are gone, nobody's really shopping or doing anything. I think everybody's recovering. And then the state of the economy in general is just not doing so good. I mean, they keep talking about how we're recovering. The stock market, the stocks and investments have gone up a little bit. But as far as the loads, not so much. So that's unfortunate. We're going to have to hang in there for a little while longer. I think that before it gets better, it's probably going to get worse for some other carriers, because there was no holiday bump, I think, in my opinion. If you ask me, maybe there was a couple extra loads on the load board, but that's about it. I haven't seen any significant money making or anything like that. So now that that has worn off, and the cold is coming in here and the holidays are gone, I think whoever got left over was hanging there by the skin of their teeth is gonna go out. I mean, think about it. Why continue doing something like this if we'll see how everybody's tax returns look and how the taxes come out and what kind of profit everybody made. But if you're making $55,000, $65,000 doing this, and if you got a big truck payment, if you got a driver in the truck, or if you're an owner operator yourself, but you've got high payments, high insurance and everything like that, it's just not worth it, man. It's just really not. And I know why people take these cheap loads. It's because if you're losing money on the load, at least you're still bringing in some money, because you got a truck payment to make and you don't want the truck to get repoed. I think that's the mentality for some people. So they're literally getting run over and hoping that things improve, but I don't think they're going to improve significantly anytime soon. The other thing is that we're dealing with a lot of capacity, and it's like, yes, capacity is leaving, but the capacity as in the equipment itself, the trailers, the trucks, that's not leaving the market. All that's happening is that it's getting cheaper, and when it gets cheaper, investors, carriers, new owner operators, they want to come in there and buy this stuff for really cheap, so they'll get equipment for cheap, and nobody wants to have equipment just sitting around there on a yard somewhere, paying for insurance, even if it's bobtail insurance, paying for the parking on it. Nobody wants to do it. You buy a piece of equipment, you want the equipment to run and make you money, even if it's a little bit of money. So even though that drivers exit the industry, there's still equipment just sitting there. And if equipment goes down to a price where it's just so cheap, somebody's going to think that it's a good opportunity and they're going to buy it. So in order for capacity to really leave, like seriously get out to where all of a sudden, if volumes go up and there's not enough trucks, the trucks would have to be destroyed with the MCs. Not that the MC goes away, but the truck just gets sold to somebody else and it just gets reused right away again. Maybe things will happen like it did back in the day, where if your business is failing, you light it on fire. But the insurance companies, they catch on to that kind of stuff. It's not that easy to do right away, nowadays anyway. So that's another problem. What happens to all the trucks and trailers and equipment that was built up? I know I've heard them talking about how a lot of the warehouse space is being unused. So we got a ton of warehouses that have been built up and everything in the last couple of years, and it's just sitting there vacant. I know around my house, they built a couple of warehouses in residential areas where you would never expect that a warehouse would get built, and it did. And it's been like a year or so and it's still vacant. There's nothing there. There's no freight there. Nobody's taking it. It's for lease. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, but it seems like it's an issue all over the place. So, the only thing that could save this is really if we got a ton of volume of loads coming in here, but I just don't see that happening anytime soon. So unless people buy up this equipment and it just sits there parked, I think we're going to be having this issue for quite some time. So we're definitely not out of the woods yet. So I don't know, we'll see what happens, but I'll check in with you guys in the future sometime and we'll see. Hopefully it gets better.